Alright, hey guys. Alright, so now we're on factor by grouping. I am actually recording this in my car outside of a Starbucks because my internet went down again. And then I asked my mom to watch my girls. So life happens. Okay, so factor by grouping only works with four terms. Only works with four terms. It only works with four terms. Okay? Let me take that off. Only for terms, guys. Alright, so here we are. Let me get my pen out. My little pin here. Where'd you go, buddy? Oh, here we are. Alright. I think after we do a couple, you're going to feel better. So the first step, make it into two groups. And the first two in the second group. It's called factor by grouping. So make two groups. The first group, the second group. Okay. I'm going to have the four terms, the polynomial, written in the correct order. A couple of the ones on the homework, it's not written in the correct order. So I'm going to give you a couple of hints for the homework. Put it like on your exam. And any ones you do in my class, it'll be written in the correct order. All right, so we only right now want to look at this guy. Ignore the others. And so for this guy, we just kind of want to ask ourselves, x, y minus 5x. We want to say, that's an x. We want to say, what do they have in common? Well, they have an x in common, okay? So I will take out the x, and what I have left over when I do that is y minus 5, because I took out this x, and I have that y left over, and I took out this x, and then I have a 5 left over. Alright, so for this section, I'm going to write x parentheses y minus 5. Okay, now I only want to look at that section. This was a plus. So 2y minus 10. Okay, and so I want to ask myself, what do they have in common? Well, they have a number 2 in common. Their greatest common factor, that's why we did that in the last video, is a 2. And if I take a 2 out, I have a y, and then 10 divided by 2 is 5, and I have my subtraction sign. Notice, big old notice, y minus 5, y minus 5. It is the exact same thing. All right, so now this 2 right here is a positive. So I have a 2, and then a y minus 5. Okay, the only way factor by grouping works is if this guy and this guy are the exact same thing. Not a y plus 5 and a y minus 5, not a y minus 5 and a 5 minus y. They have to be the exact same thing. Now these guys will be totally different. But this dude and this dude will be the exact same thing. Let me come back to our color. Alright, so now I have my y minus 5. I know you see it twice, but write it once. I'm going to see if I can explain why, where it's understandable to you. And so I have a y minus 5, and I already used him on that piece, so I have an x left over. And then I used him on this piece, and I have a plus 2 left over. Plus 2. So this is my answer. All right, if this guy said xw plus 2w, then we would take a w out. We would have x plus 2. Well, our w just happens to be crazy complicated, this y minus 5. All right, and everything in math, kind of like life, just makes more sense if we do more of it. So let's do another. All right, here we are. X cubed plus 5x squared plus 3x plus 15. All right, we're only looking at this piece. All right, they have an x squared in common. So when I take out an x squared, I have an x left over and a plus sign. Because I did 3 minus 2 is just a a single x. And then when I take out this x squared, I have a 5 left over. Okay, so for this piece, because remember you do it in groups, I have an x squared, parentheses x plus 5. All right, now I need to do this piece. So I have a 3x plus 15. So I'm only looking at that piece, and their greatest common factor is a 3. So 3x divided by 3, you just have an x because you kind of take out that 3. And then we have our plus sign. And then 15 divided by 3 is 5. Notice again, it's the exact same thing, so we know we're on the right track. This 3 right here, he's positive. All right, so we have the thing that is in common, x plus 5. And then we have the leftover stuff, x squared plus 3 plus 3. And that's it. If you wanted to write it like this, x squared plus 3 parentheses x plus 5, I don't care. It's the same thing. So you can write one or the other. Like 2 times 3 is 6, which is the same as 3 times 2, also 6. Let's do another one. All right, this guy got from your homework. Just know that when I give it to you, it's going to be in the correct order. So that's what this top guy is. It's in the correct order. So let's do the top. Break it into groups. First 2 together, second 2 together. All right, and just look at the first 2. We have a 2x squared and a 2xy. All right, they both have a 2, and they actually both have an x. So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then squared minus a 1 is just a regular x left over with a plus sign. 2 and 2 is a 1. X and x cancel, so you just have a y. So I have a 2x, x plus y. Okay, and we know this over here in parentheses has to be an x plus y. All right, so now let me do the next one. Negative 10xy minus 10xy. All right, so we're going to ask ourselves, we have negative 10x minus 10y. We got to take out what's in common, and they have a negative 10 in common. So negative 10x divided by 10 is an x. Negative 10 divided by negative 10 is a y. Okay, and negative 10 divided by negative 10 is a positive 1 because, remember, this dude and this dude have to be the exact same. Can't be a different sign. Okay, this is a negative 10. All right, so now we have what's in common. They're x plus y. And then we have the 2x minus 10. Okay, this one has one tiny more step because here we have a 2x minus 10. Okay, and so 2x minus 10, you can take out a 2. I'm going to rewrite this and put x minus 10 first. So you can plus y, so you can see better. Okay, 2x and 10 are even. So I can take out a 2. If you wanted to do this particular problem and take out, see it's 2, 2, 10, and 10, and just take out a 2 from the beginning, go for it. Like you can do it that way. All right, let's do another one just like that. Okay, remember, I'm going to give it to you where it's already written correctly, okay, which is why I rewrote it up here. There's a couple on the homework that aren't. Let's do another one. Okay, this isn't written correctly, so I rewrote it for you. First 2, second 2. Okay, we have a 5x squared minus 15x. Both have a 5 in common, and they both have an x, so that's their greatest common factor. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 2 minus 1 is just an x left over with a minus sign. 15 divided by 5 is 3. And x divided by x kind of cancels. So we have a 5x and x minus 3. Then we have this negative 25xy plus 75y. Right, they both have a 25 and they both have a y. Remember, I need this right here to be x minus 3. So I need to figure out if he is a positive 25 or a negative 25. Because he's originally a positive right here, but I need him to be a negative on the inside. So in order for him to be a negative on the inside, he has to be a negative over here, because a negative times a negative is a positive. So over here I'm going to write negative 25y x minus 3. Sorry. I'm a great teacher. I'm just like not organized. All right, so we have a 5x minus 25y x minus 3. You just write it one time. Okay, and then the 5 and 25 you can take out of 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, and then you have your x. 25 divided by 5 is 5, and then you have your y. And then x minus 3. So this guy is your answer. I think there's one more we can do. Yeah. All right, and I rewrote it up here. First 2, second 2. All right, 2x squared minus 4x. All right, they both have a 2, and they both have an x. 2 divided by 2 is 1, x squared and x, you have an x left over, minus sign. 4 divided by 2, 2. So I'm going to write him over here, x minus 2. And then he's going to have to be x minus 2. And then I have 6xy minus 12y. Okay, and he has to be x minus 2. So in order for this to be x minus 2, I need to take out a 6 and a y. But that also makes sense because 6 are 6's and 12 can be divided by 6. And they both have a y. So I'm going to double check. 6 times y times x is 6y. Then a minus sign. And 12 times 2 is 6. And then 6y times 2 is 12y. So it all works. So I'm going to write plus 6y. So I really have 2x plus 6y, x minus 2. But remember, sometimes you're going to be able to take out an extra greatest common factor. So 2 and 6 are both even. So now I just have x plus 6 divided by 2 is 3. There you go. I think that's good. A couple of problems. You don't have that many. And the first few that we did together are the ones really that it looked like. Your homework is kind of harder than what I like to give you. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, good luck with your homework, and let me know if you have any questions.